Let's create these cute low poly trees in Blender. Alright, let's start off with pressing Shift A and choosing a cube. Then press GZ to move it on the Z axis, and if you hold Control, you can snap it right onto the normal grid right here. Press Tab to go into edit mode and press number 3 to select the face. Pressing S, you can scale it down like this, so we have a nice cute little trunk. With pressing A, you can select everything, and with pressing Ctrl B, you can bevel it. Scroll your mouse wheel once to add some more bevels, maybe scroll it twice to have 3 bevels, and left click to apply it. Now, if you go at the bottom left corner right here, we can see this bevel tab, and in here we can define better what width and what segments the bevel should have. In my case, I think I used 0.3 for the width and 3 segments, which is perfectly fine for this. Press Tab to go out of edit mode, right click and also shade smooth, so we have a nice smooth surface. In the materials tab, we can add in a new material and call this trunk. If we go into the viewport shading mode at the top here, we can also choose a color and see how it looks. I think I chose something like this, a little bit less value, a little bit more saturated. I don't know, something like this that just looks nice for a trunk. All right, after that, we will add in a second cube and move it up twice or 3 times. It doesn't really matter. And let's scale it also a little bit with S. So it sits right at the top of our trunk. We can also move it up a little bit. So like this. Let's go back into edit mode again, press 3 to select the top layer and S to scale it outwards a little bit. Same as before, A and bevel it. Let's open up this up and choose 0.3 to have a nice bevel. Right click, shade smooth. In the materials tab, also add in a new material and call it leaves. And let's choose a greenish color for the leaves. And we already have our first little tree going on right here. You can shift select both of them and press Ctrl J. This will merge them into one object, and let's call this tree small. And this is already it for the first tree. For the second tree, we do the same procedure. We will add in a cube and move it up to the base level. And this time we press S to scale it, but we also press Shift Z. This means we will scale it on all axes except the Z axis. So I will move it together a little bit to have a taller trunk. And I go into edit mode with tab and select the top face. And with GZ, I can move the top face up a little bit. So we have a taller tree trunk. With pressing A and Ctrl B again, I can bevel it, but you can see we have some weird bevel going on the edges. This is because we stretched the cube and haven't applied the scaling. So for this, I press Ctrl Z to go back. And in the object mode, you can press Ctrl A and apply rotation and scale. This just means this is our base scale and rotation. And if we can now go back into edit mode with tab and press Ctrl B, we can see we have some nice bevel also going on the edges. Let's change this one back to 0.3. Maybe 0.3 is a little bit too much on this model right here. So let's do 0.2. This looks also fine. Right click, shade smooth. And now in the material tab, we can just click this small browse material right here and select the trunk material we already created before. So we have this nice little trunk already going on. We will add in a second cube again, and let's move this up. Also scale it again with Shift Z on this axis right here. And let's also increase this one at the top. Same as we did before. I will also scale it up a little bit, move this down again. So we have a nice funny looking thing going on. Press Ctrl A again to apply rotation and scale. In edit mode, press A, Ctrl B to add in the bevel. I think 0.3 for this looks fine, looks fun. All right, and let's also add in the leaf material for this. Now this looks a little bit small for me, so I will also scale it up a little bit more. Something like that looks fine. You can also go into the wireframe mode and select the top and move it down again. So we have a smaller tree trunk, something like this looks fine. Now to add a little bit more details to these type of trunks, we could also add in another cube, and let's also scale this down. And if you press G, X or Y, you can move it only on the X and Y axis. Let's also scale it again like this, maybe scale it on the X and on the Z axis, press S and Z. And let's also scale it down on the Y axis, something like this. All right, let's press Ctrl A to apply the scaling and press Ctrl B to add some bevel. Something like this. And this already looks super fun. We can also apply the material for this. And we have some small little patch going on in here. We could also scale it again on the Z axis to have something like this going on. This looks super fun. And now we can just duplicate it, press R to rotate it, 90, just type in 90, and Z to rotate it on the Z axis 90 degrees. And now to snap it perfectly onto the surface, we can select our object and in the snapping tab at the top here, choose face project and activates the snapping. And now if we select the object and press G to move it around, we will snap it perfectly onto the side wall right here. So we can just simply move it around, duplicate it with Shift D, move it around again. So we can add some small little funny patches. You can continue this. You can also add in some different cubes. So let's do this at the top right here. I think I also did this. Let's deactivate the snapping, move it in here, apply the scale and add some bevel like this, shade it smooth and apply the leaf. And this already looks a little bit more fun to look at. Yeah, just go creative with it. You can also scale it up a little bit. Yeah, go crazy. Let's duplicate this also, rotate it again 90 degrees. Let's activate the snapping so it snaps onto the face right here. Let's move it down. Let's add one more like this. Maybe make this a little bit bigger. Perfect. Now this looks already quite fun, but we have to combine all of these stuff. So let's select everything and press Ctrl J to merge it into the tree. And let's call this tree tall. Perfect. And we already have our second tree. Now for the third tree, I think I did the exact same. I added in a cube and moved it up. By the way, if the snapping doesn't work anymore, it's because we have changed the snapping to face project. Just change it back to increment. And now if we add in the cube, press GZ and hold Control, we can snap it back to the increments. So we can snap it onto the grid. In edit mode, press 3 again. I will scale this down and press Ctrl B right here, 0.3. Perfect. Let's add the trunk. Nice. I think I also added in a second cube right here for a little branch on the side. Just rotate this cube somehow like this so it sits perfectly on the surface, something like this. Go into edit mode, select the front face, scale this down and rotate the front face on the Y axis. So just press R and Y. So we rotate it on the Y axis or whatever axis looks good for you. You can also rotate a little bit on the Z axis, X axis to give some more personality. Again, press Ctrl A to apply everything. Press A, Ctrl B to bevel it. And now we have some funny little trunk going on the side right here. You could also for sure scale this up a bit more to make it look a little bit more fun. If you want to go super crazy, you could also add in a cylinder, and let's change the vertices of the cylinder to 6 and maybe also the depth just to 1. So we have this funny little thing. Let's rotate it like this. Scale it down. Let's rotate it a little bit up. So we have also a trunk or a branch coming out of here that got cut. Just looks like this. Right. Let's press Ctrl A to apply everything. In edit mode, same as before, Ctrl B to apply some bevel to round everything off, which just looks more stylized, more fun to look at. And we have a cute little trunk. We can also select everything right here. Shift select the main trunk, press Ctrl J to merge it into one object. Then for the big tree top, I did everything exactly the same as before. I added a cube, quite a big cube. Also scaled the top part, maybe no, down, I think. You can go whatever you want, whatever you like. I think I also moved the top part a little bit more down, so it just looks a bit more fun. Press Ctrl A to apply the scale, select everything, Ctrl B to bevel it. So we have a nice beveled top, and let's apply the texture. And now with the same technique as we had here before, I just added some more cubes on the sides. Let's rotate them a little bit and let's scale them down. Something like this looks cool. Maybe like this. Ctrl A, edit mode, Ctrl B. So we have something like this going on, like so. And then I think I just duplicated them also and moved them on top of each other. Just make sure that it actually goes into it. So scale it also on the axis like this, move it inwards. So we have some more cube action going on right here. And then we both selected, we also apply the leaves right here, and then just continue everything same as this. To add some more details to the tree, in the end, select everything, press Ctrl J to merge them into one object, and select the top and the bottom part, press Ctrl J, and we have one big tree. Call this tree big, and boom! You have your own little army of trees that you could use for games because they are super low poly. Not super crazy optimized, of course, because we have some bevels in here, but these are like, I don't know, 100 vertices. So it's really not heavy for any game to control these type of typology. So use this for games, for stylized renders, and yeah, just have fun modeling. If you want some more stylized modeling tutorials, just write them in the comments, and otherwise I will see you the next time. Peace out.